Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 131 of the Everything. Oh my word, I'm going to do that again. Jesus, right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 131 of the Everything Moto Racing podcast. I hope you've had a great week. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode with Max Flinders. Seems to have gone down quite a storm with a lot of people. People seem to enjoy that one, so I appreciate that. I've got a very big guest lined up. I've been confirmed to have him on soon. I just need to email him, and I was given his email about 4 days ago and haven't done it, so that's my bad.
I thought you were going to say it was me.
No, definitely
I thought that was about to be the introduction of a lifetime.
No, Lauren's back as well. After 6 weeks.
There you go.
Welcome back. You are the big guest, or potentially.
Surprise. No, it's not
you're
me.
The surprise. But it is Lauren. She is back. So Cameron is still away. So just on a swap there. And Lauren's back. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. I've missed, 2 races? 2 MotoGP races. I've missed World Superbikes.
Superbikes has been amazing.
I know. Yeah. And trying to watch it on the other side of the world was a bit stressful, so I didn't get to see much, but I've caught up on everything that's been happening, so I'm ready for COTA this weekend.
And the big question is, have you found yourself?
After 6 weeks in Thailand and Vietnam, yeah, totally. I'm a new person. People can't see me, but if they could, they'd see the difference. It's basically just I've got a tan, and that's about it.
And now you're back in Ireland, it's going to disappear pretty quick.
Yeah, well, it's rained the whole time. I've been home, a week? And it's literally rained this whole week. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, I think, with everything that's gone on last week. To bullet point before we go into it, we've had Fabio sign for Yamaha. We've had Liberty Media take over MotoGP. We've had, obviously, Marquez and Pecco crash out last time in Portimao, so we've got a lot to talk about there as well. Going to COTA this weekend, which is, of course, the home round of Trackhouse. So that'll be interesting. They're using celebrities a lot more now. They had, obviously, Jose Mourinho waving the flag in Portimao, so I'm wondering if Mr. Pitbull will be employed to shake the flag this time round.
I would pay so much money to see that. I really hope that's going to happen.
I do too. If Dorna are doing something right, they'll do it. But this is Dorna. We're still waiting on Liberty Media. But but yeah, we'll go into Fabio first, because that seems to be the big one at the moment, because it's a strange move. I think it caught everybody off guard, because even somebody clocked them walking out of the garage or like the motorhome after the announcement photos were taken the other week, and they looked really serious and really like grumpy and stuff. And so like, oh, he's confirmed he's not going to sign. So then to them come out and be like, yep, we've signed for 2 more years, after Fabio has slated Yamaha non-stop the last 2 years. What did he say? He said Yamaha have 1 more chance and then I'm gone. And then he said something about a 10-page PDF document they gave him, and 9.5 pages haven't been given. And yet he's signed for 2 more years.
Yeah, I mean, going off the first 2 rounds of the season, he did not give any indication that he wanted to stay at Yamaha whatsoever. So for this announcement to be dropped like completely randomly and out of the blue, only 2 rounds into the season. Only 2 rounds into the season, it really took me by surprise. I think it took a lot of people by surprise. And you're right, the way he's been talking about it has just been so negative. And we knew that there had to be other offers on the table. And I mean, reportedly, Aprilia offered him 4 million, and his contract with Yamaha, again, reportedly is about 12 million. So
twice Pecco Bagnaglia's salary, man.
Yeah. So I'd like to think it's not because of the money, solely because of the money, because, you know, if you're racing in the top class in the world, surely you want to be at the front winning it. I'm sure the money helped in terms of staying there, but there has to be something else that Yamaha have showed him or spoken to him about, or that they've agreed on, that has made him sign the dotted line for 2 more years. It cannot just be the fact that he's getting 12 million.
No. And you say about, obviously, Yamaha showing him something. And you instantly go, oh, well, the new regulations. But the new regulations don't kick in until 2027. So these next 2 years aren't going to be fruitful for that because the regulations won't be there. So unless Yamaha have gone, yeah, we're going to build a V4 next year, which is very unlikely, but it was also unlikely for Fabio to stay at Yamaha, they must have shown something, because he has obviously been loyal to them and showed them loyalty. I think the biggest indicator that was smack bang in everybody's faces last week or the week before that actually now, that everybody kind of missed or was like, oh, that's interesting, but that was about it, was when he posted that photo on Instagram of him decked head to toe in Yamaha gear.
I thought that, when I seen that, I was a bit like, that's a bit random from someone who isn't that happy to be a part of the team. But then I was like, he's funny on social media, so I was like, maybe he's just teasing a little bit, and there's not too much to read into that. But I'd say that probably was like the biggest hint that he'd re-signed his contract.
Yeah, and now you look back and you're like, we're all idiots.
Completely, because no one thought anything of it until afterwards.
No. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it makes sense for him to stay with Yamaha. It was the team that brought him into MotoGP. He's won a World Championship with them, but he's running around in 10th. And thankfully for him, of the 2 Japanese manufacturers, at least Yamaha are kind of exploring outside of the box now, whereas Honda is still trapped in that box a little bit. And Yamaha are actually looking to develop and grow. They've got Alex Rins there as well, which is really good. And I think maybe next year's bike will be a big step up. But something has been said to keep him there. Yes, the money will have helped. And of course, when you think these riders' careers are very short and you only have an X amount of years to earn as much money as physically possible, it's why you see riders changing gear and ending, like Sam Lowe's ending a long-term deal with Shark helmets for HJC to get a pay packet, so when he can leave and retire, he's got extra money there to set him up for the rest of his life. Fabio's got younger siblings as well. Of course, he'll want to help them out and things like that. But being selfish as a rider, surely it's about the results. Marc Marquez left 20 million euros on the table at Honda to go and buy for Grassini.
Yeah, I think with the likes of Marc Marquez, I think this is what's happening with Fabio now, is what I'm assuming. It's the start of, we're going to pay you a large amount of money to keep you here, sort of thing. It's such a good deal, you can't say no, and you and it could just all be talk and then being like, yep, we're going to do this, yep, we're going to do this, we've agreed to all the things that you've talked about and how we can fix the bike, and then nothing really changes, which seems to have been the pattern over the last 2 years. But yeah, I think there has to be more than just a verbal, we're going to fix this bike for you, we're going to get it back to the front. There has to be something that they've tested, that they've gotten like manufactured. Like, there has to be something that he's going, that is going to be what it is that fixes it. I could be completely wrong, but in my head, I'm like, there's no way he would sign another 2-year contract if there wasn't something other than paired with the 12 million euros to keep him at Yamaha. Because a lot of riders, yes, want the money, they've got their lives to think about. A lot of riders, like Marc Marquez, would eventually take a pay cut to go for a team that would be at the front of the grid. So I don't know, it's confusing.
It is, and at the end of the day in your career, and with Marquez it's a bit different because he's had 3 of those 4 years earning 20 million a year. So he can, which sounds mental to say, can afford to leave 20 million there, which is mental. Fabio obviously can't. In the same way, you've only got one shot.
Well, Fabio's younger.
One career.
Yeah, he's a lot not as far into his career as what Marc Marquez is. Like, even when this contract finishes, Fabio will only be 27.
26, I think it is.
26, 27.
27, yeah.
I think he's 99, same as me. So I think 26 or 27.
He's a year younger than me by like 2 days.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, he's young in the grand scheme of things. in terms of MotoGP, that is becoming slightly at the older end of, if the likes of Pedro Acosta, etc., Fermin Aldeguer are all starting to move up.
Yeah.
He's going to be at the older end, can't believe I'm saying that, of the riders market. But in terms of career, with the likes of Valentino going so long and now Marquez getting sort of a second wind, that's so early in his career still that he could make the jump in 2 years' time and go to a different manufacturer. But then again, with the rule changes and the regulation changes coming in 2027, is he just staying with is he going to be with Yamaha for his whole career? I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one because, like I said, he's only got one career. He's only got one shot at this to make a career in his name of himself, and he's now trading the prime years of his life and of his career and the years where you should be up every single weekend because you're young. When you have a crash, you bounce back from it easier. It's not like Marc Marquez, who, he might have a massive high side in 2014 and then been a bit bruised, like when he crashed at Mugello when he was 20, race the next day. Now Marquez could have the same crash and it'll hurt a lot more. Fabio is not going to hurt that much because he's 24 at the moment. Yeah, he's 25, I think, later this month. So he's young and he can bounce back a lot better. But as time goes on, if you're sat at the back of the grid and in 2 years he's still at the back of the grid or mid-pack, and you've got young guns sat there waiting in the wings, is Aprilia or Ducati really going to take him on?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Joan Mir will struggle to get another rider if he leaves Honda in MotoGP, despite being a 2020 world champion, because he's had no results, despite being an obscene... I listened the other week to the Off Track podcast with Dave Neal. Only recently started listening to it. Excellent podcast.
Brilliant podcast, yeah.
Glen Irwin episode was outstanding.
One of my favourite podcast episodes ever.
Yeah, it's so good, so good.
Yeah.
Dave's great. I was on the sign lap with him a little while ago as well.
I forgot about that. Love Dave.
He's great. He's fantastic. But hi, Dave, if you're listening. But I listened to the Frankie Carcetti episode. And he talked about Joan Mir and how amazing Joan Mir was. In his second year, the talent there was obscene. And we saw it with Joan Mir in your Moto3 and Moto2. But then you put Joan Mir on a bad bike and he's nowhere to be seen. The talent's there. If Frankie Carcetti says the talent's there. And yet he's at the back of the grid and he could see himself out of MotoGP because of the results there. So then you look at Fabio. If he spends the next 2 years at the back of the grid, and if Yamaha decide, you know what, actually, we've given you 2 more years, we've not really had the results, the investment's not really paying off the way we want it to, and there's, I don't know, David Alonso sat there in Moto2 waiting to step up to MotoGP, Fabio could see himself out of there and then not have anywhere else to go, which is the problem with being maybe overly loyal to a manufacturer.
Yeah, I think quite easily this relationship could turn sour. Obviously, they're putting their all into Fabio Quartararo. It's at the point now where Yamaha are really invested in him. Yep, they've got Alex Rins in, but it's clear that Fabio is their main priority. But I think that could turn sour in the sense of if Yamaha aren't getting results, Fabio's not getting results. I could see it, like mid-season fallout, exactly what happened to Maverick Vinales, where the love is just completely lost between the two. And then, maybe he gets an opportunity with another manufacturer, but you're so right. There's so many young people coming up into the class or ready to come up into the class now that I struggle with it. You sort of think now at 24, 25 by the end of the season that Fabio should maybe make the jump now and make the mistakes, or it be the best decision that he's ever made, or it's a mistake, maybe go back to Yamaha in a couple of years when the regulations do change and reunite, and that would be some amazing story.
Like
exactly. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I suppose only time will tell as to...
It's a massive risk from both sides because Fabio, like we said, is playing with the best years of his career. We don't know what Yamaha have said to Fabio. Yamaha could roll out at the Valencia test at the end of this year with a Ducati beater, a bike that transcends anything we've got already, and is just like gold-plated, amazing. This title-winning machine that gets 1-2s every race next year, maybe even 1-2-3-4s if they pick up LCR or Pramac. Because there has been a little flutters about Pramac potentially splitting from Ducati. Again, take it with a pinch of salt, but because it's just like paddock talk, really. But Yamaha could do that, but if they don't, and Fabio and continue on this trend of not really performing and actually going downhill, and Fabio is sat with where Honda are right now for the next 2 years, your motivation drops quite a bit. Jorge Lorenzo's motivation was zero. That's why he retired. And Yamaha might be like, well, we're not getting the results. We're putting 12 million a year into you. Fabio also be like, I'm not getting the results. I've got all this talent and a MotoGP World Championship to back up my talent. But then they both lose because Yamaha are out of pocket and they're at the back of the grid, so struggle to get better riders unless it's Valentino Rossi hopping from the Honda over to the Yamaha, which Jorge Martin could do and repeat history. And then Fabio, like we said, could struggle to get another seat after 2 years in 2027. But then again, 2027 again is another risk because you have no idea who's going to perform then. It's a lottery at this moment.
Well, at the minute, yeah. And in that sense, I think when you look at it that way and you look at the long game, staying with Yamaha is a smart move because it'll be a clean slate.
It's risky, but it's safe.
Yeah, I know. It sort of doesn't make any sense now that I'm saying that. When you look at it that way, it does sort of make sense because you can come into this new era of MotoGP together, and that's a good. You have a long relationship there, which coming into a new era, having that data, knowing each other and the team, surely that can only be a good thing of making a new bike. But yeah, it's so 50-50. It's so 50-50. It's either the best movies ever made or the worst movies ever made, and there's no two ways about it.
No, there isn't. And it's interesting because you've seen so many riders recently make the jump. Johnny Ray, Lewis Hamilton, Marc Marquez. And so you think, well, Fabio's going to follow that trend. Top Brack. Yeah, exactly. And so you're like, and to be fair, obviously we've yet to see about Lewis Hamilton, but it's paid off for Top Brack. It's paid off for Marquez. It's not really paying off for Johnny Ray yet, but I'm sure it will come.
Yeah.
And again, he's on a Yamaha now. So it just would make sense. But in the same way, Fabio could have theoretically have left, hopped on Aprilia and struggled because he's never ridden a V4. He's only ever ridden that inline 4 of a Yamaha. It took Vinales a little bit of time to adapt to that bike. And Vinales, again, is an exceptionally talented rider. Maybe not of the level of Fabio, but still a very talented rider. Fabio could have hopped on that Aprilia and done just the same as he does on the Yamaha for a lot less money.
Well, this is the thing, and we've seen it with other riders. I mean, I'm not going to judge too early into the season, but the likes of Frankie Morbidelli moving to the Ducati, so far, it's been a rocky start.
Yeah, injuries play a lot into that.
Exactly. So I don't want to put the blame completely on Frankie in that sense, but it just goes to show that yes, you move on to better machinery as such. It doesn't always work out that way, and we're sort of saying, Fabio would be so much better going to Aprilia, blah 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 blah. We don't actually know if that would be a smart move. Like, we know he's talented, and I'd say he's one of the most talented on the grid. I'd say he's up there.
Easy top 3.
What?
Pure talent, top 3, easy.
Easy. Well, yeah, I would say that, but
Marquez
I don't want people.
In that same
bucket, I don't want people
to
think I'm biased when I say that. No. But yeah, I'd say he's one of the most talented on the grid. But it's then bold to assume that he would suit an Aprilia, and then you go back to going, stick to what you know and work with Yamaha and make the bike work.
Yeah, it's just a weird situation with Yamaha because at one point they were the best. You look 2015, 1-2 in the championship, and it's the bike to be on even 2019, 2020 when Franco Morbidelli was killing it, Fabio was winning races and stuff. And they fell off a cliff. But they fell off a cliff. They were also excelling in the 80s were very rainy. The late 80s, early 90s were very rainy. Obviously, McDoohan came along on the Honda and wiped the floor with everyone. Then Crivier. Then you got Roberts on the Suzuki. And then you had Rossi on the Honda again. And then Rossi switched to Yamaha. Yamaha were nowhere to be seen in that time with Biaggi. Rossi hops on the Yamaha, wins the first race at Welcome, wins the championship that year, wins the championship the year after. Yamaha can come back, the same as Honda can come back. How long will it take? Will it be 2 years, 5 years? Will it be within Fabio Quartararo's current contract, or even within the span of his career? We don't know, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, I think, is the moral of what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I think 20 minutes later, it's just like, I think we've gone in circles that we'll not really know until it happens.
I'm just so intrigued to see what the hell they said. I would have killed to be a fly in the room in those conversations.
I think it'll be even more, I think it's made it even more interesting to see who they keep on as well. Do they keep Alex Rins? Do they keep this pairing until the regulations change? Yeah, is this a pairing that we're going to see long term? Because I'd kind of love to see that. Or is the door open for like a young gun to come in? Because then that might make Fabio feel a bit weird, because he was the young guy coming into the team, and then he would sort of step into a more senior role as such. And I think that makes silly season quite interesting. And
yeah,
I think it makes Alex Rins, he's going to want to work extra hard to help bring that bike to the front too.
I agree. And I think Yamaha are doing the work. You know, they've poached a number of Ducati engineers, including Max Bartolini, Marco Nicotra as well. They've got, I can't remember the name, Massimo Bartolini's over there as well. They've got an F1 tech, an ex-F1 tech, I can't remember their name. They are investing in the bike. It's difficult with two riders. Alex Rins was able to put a team with just two riders on the top step of the podium. I think Alex Rins is a long-term investment as well.
I'd like to hope so.
And I think the pair of them now, which is potentially of what they've said to Fabio, is look, you and Alex will now work together to bring this bike to the top. Alex Rins is the guy. As we've said so many times, he's an like we say top three riders on the grid, Alex Rins is number 4 for pure talent.
Yeah.
Like, he's an exceptional rider. It's a very close top 4, by the way, because Brad Binder's there and so many other riders.
Jorge Martin's there. Like, yeah, after
Echo,
the top 3, I think there's like a line of riders then after the top 3.
Tied.
Yeah.
But the investment Yamaha are putting in is clear. They're investing money in Fabio to be like, look, we'll invest in you. We've hired his engineers. We've hired Alex Rins now. We are investing in this project, and we want to give you this pay packet as a token of maybe our appreciation for you, to motivate you to stay and just work with us, because we will get there. We're doing all these things, and like I said, they may have more things in line. They may have hired 4 more technicians. They may have been working on a brand new engine for next year and new fairings, and they could have just bought a blooming old Suzuki and rebadged it. We have no idea. You know, so there's probably a lot in the works, enough, obviously, as we've seen, to make Fabio go, oh, you know, I'll stick around.
Yeah. Oh, it stresses me out. It's definitely going to give me grey hairs thinking about it, but...
Well, we'll stop that now, and we'll move on to a bit more silly season, then we'll talk about Liberty Media. But the main contenders for Aprilia next year, if theoretically they don't keep Aleix and Viñales, with Viñales winning a sprint race, he's very much in there. Aleix is obviously potentially may retire. We don't know yet. But Martin and Bastianini are kind of names, and Bazecchi are names pipped for that Aprilia project next year. If Martin doesn't get the factory Ducati seat, he will leave Ducati. He has said that. That's done. Pramac are like, we want you. But he's like, no, I'm leaving Ducati if I don't get the seat because I want a factory bike. He's currently in the championship by 18 points over Brad Binder. He's kind of very worthy of a factory seat. KTM is locked off because Pedro Costa's definitely taking Jack Miller's seat for sure. Like, unless anything bad happens,
I'd say that contract's signed.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. And so it will be between if Bastianini gets the boot, Bastianini to Aprilia, very solid option. If Martin doesn't get the seat because they keep Bastianini, which is probably in their best interests, because if you look at factory Ducati, every 2 years that second seat has changed.
I have a theory.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Go on then, hit me.
So yeah, you're saying they'll keep Bastianini if it's within their best interest. I do think longevity is something that Ducati need to invest in, like a second rider. Obviously, they've kept Pecco on, but I think if Marc Marquez is the second Ducati in the championship or wins it, or beats Pecco, because that could happen, I think they'll put Marc Marquez on the factory Ducati, because never say never. We never thought he'd be on a Ducati full stop, and now he's at the front.
The only issue is Red Bull. Again,
people have cut contracts before.
He's managed by a guy with heavy links to Red Bull.
I know.
It's
but
like the whole Keenan Sofoglu top situation.
I know. It's out there, and it probably won't happen, but I do think it is very possible outcome if he was to either win the championship or come second ahead of, say, Jorge Martin and Enea Bastianini. Why would you not promote
Marc Marquez?
Yeah,
and it would make total sense.
But I'm saying that that's the case for any person on a Ducati. Because if you're either winning the championship or beating the likes of Pecco, then you should be on the second factory seat, getting the full factory support.
Well, apparently Jorge Martin had it written into his contract that he would be promoted to the factory squad if he won the championship at that Valencia final, meaning Enea would have been sat there like Sunday, like, I don't know if I'm going to be riding the blue bike or the Pramac bike on Tuesday, because it was a case of like, you'd wake up on Sunday morning and be like, I have no idea.
Yeah. I wonder if he was like, should I get involved here?
Yeah, because it was mad to think that you wake up in the morning and you're like, Martin wins this championship,
I'm done.
I'm switching teams.
Yeah.
And you have no control over that whatsoever. And then apparently Martin had a suit ready or something like that, ready for factory test.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me, because I mean it was a bold thinking anyway, because the chances were slim, but I mean the chances were still there. The championship's not over till it's over. But I do think in this case Jorge Martin will not be on a Ducati next year, just because of what he said. I don't think that Ducati like when people talk bad about their team or their bikes, and to have a current rider sort of go in, if I've not done enough to prove that I should be in red by now, there's not much else I can do, which he's fully within every right to say. I fully agree with him, unless he goes out and absolutely smashes the championship this year and then they do decide to promote him. Even if I was Jorge Martin, I think I would still move.
It depends, because it comes back to money, because Aprilia don't have the money that anybody else does. Aprilia is probably the poorest, shall we say, factory team in MotoGP. They don't have the budget. Ducati can probably pay Martin a few million extra.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, but it's hilarious actually that they're paying Pecco 6 mil and Fabio's getting 12. But
Pecco is going to be, if he hasn't already, knocking on Ducati's door going, sorry.
Sorry, what?
What?
Yeah, because I mean, championship bonuses will probably give him another 4 million, so he's still not nowhere near Fabio's base salary.
Yeah, he's going to be like, guys, we need to have a chat.
Yeah, fast. Yeah, like 2 championships in a row and 6 million. That is, Rossi was on 10 million at Yamaha just for riding the thing around.
Yeah.
It's mad. But anyway, we digress. It's going to be interesting in the rider markets, for sure.
Yeah.
In another market that we'll talk about is the fact that £4 billion has been spent on acquiring $4 billion has been paid to acquire 86% of Dorna by Liberty Media, F1's owners, meaning it's very likely we will see a MotoGP F1 crossover race weekend.
I mean, I was going to say I'd pay to see it, but actually I probably won't pay to see it.
No.
Because
For
it'll
like 10
be,
grand
I'd have to
for
sell my
tickets.
house that I don't even own.
Literally.
Yeah, like I think based on what I've read and what I've heard so far, which is not much, I have to say I think this deal is good.
People are so negative about it on
People
social
are
media,
so
though.
negative about it, but people don't like change.
People are like, they're going to have 2 extra wheels now. It's like, do you understand
Street
how businesses
circuits.
work, bro? Yeah.
Like, guys, come on, be real for a little second. Liberty Media haven't said anything to make us think that they are going to change MotoGP at all. And I understand that people are scared of what's going to happen with MotoGP because of what's happened with F1. I do see the bad sides of F1 in terms of like the glamorization of it and sort of bringing in the celebrities that don't really follow the sport and don't really know what's going on, making silly like presentations and stuff like that after the races, having random people do the interviews and stuff like that. I totally get why people are a bit apprehensive about it, but that's very bold to say that they're going to come in and start doing that with MotoGP. There's been a lot put in this year so far of, like you said, Jose Mourinho waving the flag at Portimao. That's massive. Getting a few quotes of him saying how much he loves watching MotoGP. That's massive. I think when Liberty Media take over Dorna, that's the sort of thing that we're going to be seeing a lot more of, is more people who are actually interested in the sport and bringing them in first before they start creating this whole circus that people are so worried about.
And people don't, people, obviously they've agreed terms for it. It still might not even be completed until December. It's still going to go through the EU.
Oh yeah, like nothing's going to change
like
until next year at least.
Yeah, it's not even been like finalised. It's just, yeah, we've agreed to do this. Like the EU could turn around and go, no, and that's it. Stuck with Dorna. But I do think it's going to be good for the sport because it will open opportunities up for people to gain work in the paddock. For example, on social media as well, the amount of Dorna strict taking down copyright and everything and closing accounts down left, right, and centre. We'll hopefully see a lot less of that on Liberty Media because it's in their best interest to grow the sport and not ban people for giving them free promotion to the sport.
Yeah, this is the massive, massive thing that I keep saying to people is that look at F1 and look how easily you can consume F1. I don't pay for Sky Sports. I don't need to pay for Sky Sports when I can see so much content on my social media platforms. Over a race weekend, the amount of stuff I see, whether it be from teams or F1 themselves, there's just so much free, easy access stuff, and fans who are able to post their stuff from the track, whether it be them in the paddock or them in the stands. This is massive because that's something that we've been saying for ages that we want in MotoGP. I want to be able to go to a MotoGP race and post everything about the weekend. But at the minute, we're not allowed to do that. We can't post videos of the riders on track because 9 times out of 10, it'll probably get taken down or you get copyrighted and all sorts. Like I've had emails having stuff taken down from whether it be the starting lap or personal accounts. Like it's difficult to navigate your way through, and I think Liberty Media will be a massive step in opening that up. So we can have fans that can actually go and be like, wow, look at my time at MotoGP. And then more people will look at that and go, oh, I want to go there. That looks cool. Boom.
Exactly. I think one of the maddest stories is, I think it was 2014 at COTA. Nicky Hayden posted a video of his bike warming up in pit lane onto social media, just like going around the bike and like showing the bike. Yeah, Dorna took it down and made him delete it.
Seriously?
Yeah. You're like, what the hell?
Anytime I'm at any sort of race circuit, I just post stuff on my close friends instead.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame you, to be honest.
Yeah,
Dorna will just take it down. And it's sad, really, because like you say, it's stopping people from accessing the sport and seeing what's actually going on in the sport. Because it's behind a paywall and behind closed doors and it's taken down all the time and you're worrying constantly about copyright and things like that, whereas F1 is so accessible and so easy to consume content from F1.
Yeah, and obviously looking at the success of Drive to Survive, not only that, but then a lot of the programs that came after that, the golf one, the tennis one.
Yeah, tennis one's really good.
I
Breakpoint.
love the tennis one.
So good.
And you sort of look at that and you go, okay, well, the MotoGP Unlimited one could have been great. The content that was there was good, but how they went about posting it was terrible.
Awful.
So hopefully having Liberty Media in will iron out those little kinks that sort of left a sour taste in people's mouths. And then you sort of go, okay, if we can get a nice, good, proper release to a good show, boom. And like the racing is good. The racing is the best part of MotoGP. And that has nothing to do with Liberty Media. So that's, we've got a whole product there, ready to go, ready to sell. It just needs to be sold in the right way. And at the minute, we're not doing that. So
Exactly. And like, funny story, the other week, I went round, it was Mother's Day, and I went round the girlfriend's mum's house for Mother's Day, of course, with that side of the family. And we were all sat around, and I was like, oh, it's a race day, it's Portimao. Kind of want to watch it, Like, yeah, it's Mother's Day, but racing. And her dad's massively into racing, more of the four-wheeled side of things. And her dad was like, right, let's put it on TV. Why not? Put it on TV. And he loved it. And her mum loved it as well. She's not even into racing. She hates it when the F1's on. She sat there and watched all 3 races and was like, I love this. And her dad was like, this is great. And any time we went for a meal with them a few weeks later with like a family, I think family friend or something like that as well. And he was telling her the bikes were so good, they're so much overtaking, well better than F1, just because they got some exposure to the sport and really enjoyed it. And it's like there is such a market for people, and they're not even getting a sniff of it because it's hidden away, uncovered, and you can't even uncover it because it's so hard to access, isn't it? The only time you hear about it is when Forbes or Financial Times, that's it, post an article going, oh, MotoGP's been bought.
Yeah.
Or when a rider dies. That's the only time.
That's the only time it's like broadcast in the UK, like on the news, is when something not always fatal, but something big happens, whether it be a big crash. I remember the big crash at the Red Bull Ring with Frankie Morbidelli and Zarco and all. I remember that being
everywhere
on the news. And other than that, I'm like, yeah, maybe Rossi retiring. Other than that, I really don't remember seeing MotoGP on the news at all. Local coverage is different. Obviously in Northern Ireland we do get a lot, like the Northwest and stuff like that, and a bit of the TT stuff, but like it's little snippets here and there, and that's it. So
but then you go on Twitter and F1 is everywhere you look. Like if I go on Twitter now and I'll switch to an account that's got nothing to do with motorcycle racing, so we get a blank canvas, and I hit Explore tab on Twitter. Let's see what happens. Straight away F1 is trending. Top 10 F1 is sat there.
Do you know what they did this weekend that was really good? They posted that video of Max Verstappen on the podium, and his girlfriend and her daughter were there.
I didn't see that.
People love that. Kids.
Well, that's why Alicia's videos always go viral, don't they?
Exactly. And it's not even just the kids, but it's like family reaction. I've seen a lot of other places do that, a family reaction of like people winning things, or there'll be like a really nice moment after race. But that was a really nice after race moment that she was sort of cheering up at Max Verstappen and being like, oh, like this. And she's like, what, 6 or 7 or something like that. So people were always like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing ever. And I've seen that video so many times. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
No, that's mad. I still think it's hilarious that Max went and stole Kvyat's.
Yeah, it's not even his
daughter.
Oh, well.
He's like, yeah, we're taking your whole life away from you. See you later.
Literally must be in tears when he sees stuff like that.
Honest to God, yeah. You'd have seen that video and been like, no, why? But yeah, like, and they've got a special press conference on Thursday, which I'm very excited for, because that's when they will, because at the moment we can only speculate about what will happen. That's when they'll unveil and discuss more about what can happen. Obviously, have journalists be given the floor to ask some questions, and they will answer as truthfully as we hope they will be.
Well, yeah, I'd say they will give us some sort of plan. I'm hoping anyway. I've got my fingers crossed of some sort of, or even if it's just in like a press release afterwards, because the first email was very informative when they first announced it, I thought, of what was going on. So even if there's sort of maybe a timeline on it or a few rough ideas on it of what we can expect, I think I'll be pretty chuffed with something along those lines. And I'm very excited to hear the questions that the journalists will ask, because knowing the questions that they've sort of been answering on Twitter and stuff like that, I think it'll be very, very interesting to listen to, because a lot of them engage with fans day in, day out on Twitter. So I think they will have
Simon Patterson's and Matt Oxley.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the questions posed to both Dorna and Liberty Media will be very, very interesting. So yeah, I'm going to watch that one live. I suggest everyone else does too.
I'll try.
Well,
yeah, it will be very interesting, and it might be a good idea as well if anybody listening wants any questions, ask him, and if they know somebody who will be in that press conferences, maybe tweet them or
message
ask
them. Yeah.
Can you ask this question?
A lot of those
us?
journalists get back to people, or will be like, look, I'll find out for you, and stuff like that. So yeah,
exactly.
If people have questions about it, I'd fully say go and message or tweet your favourite journalist in the paddock, because that's
and they will.
Yeah, best way to do it.
I agree. Right, moving on to the actual main part of the show, which is COTA this weekend.
Woohoo!
Can't wait for it. 10 races have been held at the track. Marquez has won 7. Rins 2 on 2 different manufacturers, and Enea Bastianini, which is good that Agostini's already won at the track. Because, of course, Marc Marquez will be the favourite to win this weekend with his track record there.
Him or Rins?
I think Rins could do it. People are writing Rins off.
No.
But they wrote him off on the Honda, and then he went out and just destroyed everyone.
It was stunning. And the Yamaha was also on the podium last year. So
yeah, with Fabio,
people need to remember that Fabio could also be up there. You've got Pedro Acosta to look at. Obviously, he hasn't been to this track yet, but he also hadn't been to Portimao. And look what happens.
And the Gas KTM is the fastest bike on the grid and top speed. And that track has 2 very fast straights.
Yeah, I just think when I look at it and looking at what happened in Portimao, you've got Pecco, who's going to want to push extra hard and maybe take a few risks that he wouldn't usually take. He crashed there last year. He's going to have that on his shoulders too. He's trailing in the championship, but that's where he sort of thrives. So he could either have a disaster weekend or a very good weekend, I think. Jorge Martin is obviously, I think, primed for the likes of the sprint race. He's so good at them. He's got a lot to prove this weekend, now leading the championship, 18 points ahead. He's going to want to make that even bigger this weekend. And then you look at the people who have the records there. You've got Marc Marquez, who showed so much potential in the first 2 rounds. And obviously going
Even
back.
last year, may I add, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Last year, when he messed up the start and cut through the field to 5th.
Yeah. From last.
On the bad Honda.
Yeah. He loves this place. I'm excited for this round, and Sachsenring the most, obviously. Alex Rins, again, won on a Honda last year, won on the LCR Honda last year, so, we know he's pretty goated around this circuit. And then you've got Enea Bastianini, who sort of has pushed his way back to the front, sort of quietly and unassuming. I think he could go out and just absolutely dominate this weekend too, so I am so excited. And that's just for MotoGP. Don't even get me started on the other classes, because
because Aaron Cannett's got his win now, hasn't he?
Don't even. I couldn't believe that when I seen that.
Unbelievable. I was like, he's going to get second here, because Lopez was miles up the road, and then Lopez was like, nah,
Never mind.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you take it.
Well, I'm just thinking the likes of Joe Roberts. He's been so good at the start of this season. Could an American
championship?
Could he win?
That would be amazing if he did.
I really want to see that happen, actually. So
it would go off, because he is potentially in contention for that Trackhouse seat next year.
He must be.
They want an American on it after all.
Well, if he finishes the season how he started it, no questions asked, he has to be.
I can't see Miguel being on it next year. He's not performing.
No, unless he pulls something out of the bag and they promote him and they open up a seat. Dunno, could be a bit rogue for saying that. But no, I think there's going to be a seat at Trackhouse regardless. I don't know which one it'll be, but I'd say if Joe Roberts keeps this up, they will make a seat for him. So
yeah, that would be good because he had one chance a few years ago, said no.
But
sometimes you may never get that chance again.
It's American backs now. I think this is the opportunity that he's maybe been
interest.
that he's been waiting for. He knew that maybe a couple of years ago it wasn't the right idea, but now he's bided his time and maybe it could work out really well for him.
Exactly, yeah. I think so. I think you're very right. Manuel Gonzalez looks very good at the moment. Quite intrigued to see how he goes on. Alonso Lopez, of course. Could have had 2 wins, but obviously crashed.
Well, I'd like to see Fermin Aldeguer because we sort of thought he'd be coming out this season, dominating.
Swinging, yeah.
And he hasn't. And neither is Tony Arbolino.
He's 11th in the championship. I think it's a lot to do with the tyres.
Yeah.
Because they drop off at the end of the race, and learning those tyres is going to be difficult. Arbolino is 14th in the championship.
Yikes.
At the moment. And it will be interesting to see how those Pirellis do perform at COTA because temperatures will be high. It's a hot track. It's always a hot track.
Did Arbolino not win there last year?
I believe he did. I'll just triple check. Yes. No,
yeah.
Second. He won the year before. That was his first Moto2 win the year before, yeah. That was it. So he's got good form there. Very good form. And will we have Dixon? I don't think we will we?
Oh.
We've got no Sasaki. Sasaki's out.
Arm pump?
No, he got injured at...
Oh.
I'll just triple check actually. I'm sure he got injured in the last race because he crashed out of the last race. Yeah, and he... arm pump. Sorry. Oh. Double arm pump, may I add.
Oh, I thought it was just one. That makes sense.
Double arm pump. Yeah, that's right. And Dixon, I'll just triple check see if there's anything on the social media.
I haven't seen anything confirmed.
I know it's at Donington the last few days for the BSB test.
Interesting.
He has posted on his story to say, we'll miss my bro / in brackets son this weekend. So I'm assuming Jake will be in America then.
Okay.
Whether he's riding. Because he tried to race in Portugal and had to pull out.
I think that was for the best after how long it took him to get home from Qatar.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we'll have to see, I think, is the answer to that. We will wait and find out. But Moto2 is looking really good at the moment. And then Moto3, we will go back into MotoGP in a minute. But Xabi Zurutuza will make his Moto3 debut. He is a little, very fast Spaniard.
Oh, like the rest of them?
He's a little pocket rocket. Yeah, he's honestly a little pocket rocket. He's rapid. So I'm very excited to see him because he is very quick. Very, very, very quick. And like you said, he is like 4 foot nothing. He's tiny.
Again, like the rest of them.
Yeah, that's true. I think, and he won 2 races last year in Junior GP. I'll just triple check it now. Yeah, won 2 races last year in Junior GP in Portimao and Barcelona. He's very quick. He was in the MTA squad as well. And only really did 2 years in Junior GP. He's already been promoted under the IO wing. IO likes to promote rookies, I've noticed. Every year there's a new rookie in the IO squad.
Smart man.
He is. A lot of these riders won't know this track either because they're rookies. That doesn't really stop half the Moto3 riders, obviously, because they just learn them in FP1 somehow incredibly quickly.
I know. They're like the smartest kids ever.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to Moto3 this weekend. Joel Kelso has been looking strong in the first 2 rounds of the season, kind of silently chipping away with an 8th and a 5th. Daniel Holgado is doing what he did last year with the opening rounds of
I'm not saying anything.
No, we talked too much about him last year, and then it kind of made us look like idiots. But
Mm,
David Alonso, I think, is the rider to watch at the moment.
yeah. But again, I'm not saying too much because it usually goes down like a lead balloon.
Yeah, that's true. But I think Alonso will be a title contender this year.
A lot of the
He's
riders have been saying that, so I believe them.
Yeah, honestly. Because, I mean, last year he was 8th in America, which is pretty solid. But I think Ortola is the dark horse, and Via.
Yeah, to both.
Both of them. I mean, Ortola won last year in America.
I was going to say, and I like that he has all this quadrant backing and stuff now by Lando Norris.
Which is quite cool.
I like seeing
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And again, access. I'm scrolling through quadrant, all of a sudden, Ivan Ortola pops up, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's going on
what
here?
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be a very good one. But we'll go back to MotoGP. So, in the MotoGP race this weekend, of course, Marc Marquez is looking like the favourite.
No, he is the favourite.
Yeah, he is the favourite. Is there anybody else you put into the hat apart from Rins and Marquez and Bastianini? Do you think Jorge Martin, who just claimed his 6th MotoGP career win last time at Portimao, is leading the championship, is the sprint race king? Can he do it?
I don't know. I don't think so. Based on the other 3 guys that we know are really good around there. I think there'd be some bad circumstances for all 3 of those guys to not be near the front and to battle. But I mean, never say never. And I do think Jorge Martin possibly for the sprint race, just because he's so good at them. But other than that, I do think it'll be one of the 3 guys who have won there before.
So you don't think Pedro can win?
I mean, I'd love to see him win. And has he won there before in Moto 2 or Moto 3?
Yeah, he's won. I believe he's won a few times.
So, you can't rule him. You can't rule anyone out. I think at COTA is the main thing, because you just never know. Because I think Marc Marquez would have won it last year had he not fluffed up the start.
Yeah.
So
very, very easy. Yeah, Marquez won last year. No, Pedro Costa won there last year in Moto 2.
Okay, so he could be up there. I'd say Jorge Martin will probably be on the podium, but I don't think he'll win it. I could say the same for Brad Binder. He'll be up there, but don't think a win is on the cards.
It's been a few years since we've seen Binder win a race, haven't we?
Is the last race win Austria? 2021?
Yeah.
Wow.
Scary, isn't it?
That's a bit mad, actually.
I saw a TikTok the other day and it was saying the last time something happened, and it was, some of them were in the thousands of days for things that felt so recent, and you're like, what the hell? It's 1,000+ days since Marquez won the last title, and you're like, what the hell?
Surely it's longer now for Marquez's win than it was the last time round. It was 981 days or something like that.
So yeah, Marquez's last win in 2019 to his 2021 win.
Yeah, it was 981 days. That's the figure that's sticking out in my head, if that's right.
It was 400+ days, because 900 is 3-4 years.
Oh.
But yeah, I think last year at some point we eclipsed that. It's been, when was the last time Marquez won? It was Sachsenring, wasn't it?
Misano.
No, he won after that.
Misano 2021.
Yeah. So, we'll get it. We'll work it out. Just to really get a crazy stat for everybody. So it was Emilia Romagna, and then he missed the last 2 races. So, 24th of October, 2021.
I watched that live. I was there.
You did?
Yeah.
8th of April, 2024. How many days between? It's reset it, so I'm going to do that again. Great. 24 of
Thanks,
10,
Google.
2021. Yeah. To today's date, which is the 8th. Loading.
I'm intrigued.
Hurry up, please. Why is it not giving me the information?
How
on, man.
many days ago was? Just search that.
Right, I'm going to just find a different website because this sucks.
No, just type into
Right.
Google how many days ago was the 24th of October 2021.
That's a good idea.
And
This
it
is
should
why
come up.
I employ you. How many days how many days ago was, oh my god,
Well.
897.
Oh my god.
Marquez wins. Days between Marquez wins. You were right. I'm very apologetic. Wait, no, I'm not. No, you went.
What was 981? That can't just
was
be random.
It was 581.
Oh, damn it. Where did I get the
that was
9 from?
581, and we're already up to 897. And then tomorrow it'll be 98, 99, 900, 1, 2, 3. So in 903 days on Sunday. 93.
93. He's winning.
Oh,
He's
it's
winning.
fate. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You've heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, there you go. If it happens, then we told you, you know.
Yeah, we told you so.
That's wild. 900 days.
Whoa.
That is bonkers. It's mental, though, when you look at Wikipedia and his career before it, and all this gold and yellow, and then it just hits 2020, and it's just, bleh. It's crazy.
Not for long.
Not for long. So, shall we go into our predictions? Seems like a good time to segue.
Yeah, I think we should.
So, because we haven't done it, I haven't done predictions since Portimao. I've not even gone over them yet.
Oh.
But, and obviously you've not done any predictions this year, so I'll give you a little recap. As you may or may not know, there's a new point system this year.
Well, I knew that,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how it worked. But I did know I was in the lead for a while.
It matches MotoGP's now. So
Okay.
you get 12 points for a sprint race prediction win.
Okay.
You only get points if you correctly predict the place. You don't get any points for just putting a rider on the podium anymore. So you have to get it bang on.
Okay.
You get 16 points for third, 20 points for second, 25 if you win, get the winner. You get 10 points if you get pole position correct. If you get all 3 podium places right, you'll get 75. And if you manage to get all correct, including pole, you'll get 100 points. And if you get the sprint as well, you get 125.
Okay.
So, obviously I won't go through Qatar again, but heading into Portimao, you led with 47 points.
Mm-hmm.
Myself in second with 22, Cameron in third with 20. So you had more than double. You had both of our tallies added together.
Yeah. I didn't brag about it or anything.
No, you didn't. Not one bit.
Not at all.
No, none. Not in the group chat whatsoever.
No.
A few weeks ago, we had Tyson join us. It was a good podcast. I very much enjoyed it, Tyson. I know you'll be listening, so thank you. And yes, he will be on again at some point soon. He scored 0 points, so we're just going to sack him off for Portimao. 0. Not a single point.
I've been there. I have been there.
Well, you also were very, very nearly there again.
Well.
So, your whole tally for the whole of Portimao was 10 points for Acosta in third.
Look.
No, it wasn't. It was 16 points. I've done the maths wrong.
I'm not mad about that because that was such an out-of-pocket prediction.
Yeah.
That, again, I did not brag about in the group chat when it was confirmed that I'd got that right.
No,
So.
definitely not. Definitely not.
There's a few choice words sent over video.
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
You should post that. I think it's funny. I think people would find that hilarious.
I've just, yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll traumatize everybody with that. I've also done Cameron's maths wrong. I've done the maths wrong here a little bit, you know?
Oh, it wouldn't be like you.
Never.
No, I'm not going to call you a cheater, but
excuse me.
if this keeps happening, someone else is going to have to take the miles over.
Yeah, well, Cameron gets an extra point there anyway. So,
we're going to need an adjudicator.
An
unbiased. What do you call that? An unbiased adjudicator?
An unbiased adjudicator. Wait, I was right. I'm an idiot. So ignore me. I was actually correct.
This is why I told you not to change the point system, but...
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway, so I'm not going to run through it properly because we ain't got time for that. In my tally for the whole of Portimao was 60 points. Because I got Rueda in second, Holgado as the Moto3 winner, and I correctly predicted Aaron Cannett's first ever victory. But I've also predicted him so many flipping times that at one point it was going to happen. So I pulled in 60 points. I got two 25s and a 20. So it's 70 points. 70 points. So I now leave Portimao with 92 points to my name. From 22 to 92. Cameron, who went in with 20 points, correctly predicted Rueda on pole, Ortola in third in Moto3 and Holgado to win, and he correctly predicted Manuel Gonzalez in Moto2. Cameron managed to pick up 67 points.
You're taking the piss.
So he now has 87 points. You obviously got your little 16 there, which is very good. So
for me, yeah.
Yeah, good for you, yeah. So the standings now, I am now leading again, as always, because I'm just too
because
good
it's rigged.
How? I've changed the points and I'm still leading. It can't be any more less rigged at this point. So yes, I am leading with 92. Cameron is second with 87, and you have 63 points.
That's not bad
It's not
because
bad.
you could have a weekend like I just had.
Exactly, yeah.
And then
That's
I
what
could
was
have a
thinking
good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not going to happen, but you know.
We'll see. We'll see.
We shall. So we'll do our American GP, or Americas, as I like to call it, America's GP predictions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with Cameron each time because he's already given them very kindly. So Moto3 pole position, he's gone David Alonso. I'm going to go with Rueda. Who are you going to go for?
Oh, I'm torn between two people here. No, I'll stick with Danny Holgado.
Holgado. Okay, so we've all got a different one. I like that. Cameron's put Alonso in third. Third place for me is going to be Kelso. Why not? Who are you going for?
Third place, I would like to go for... Alonso.
Okay. Second, I've gone with Ortola. Cameron's gone with Holgado, and you've gone for...
Ortola.
Nice. You're just going to snag some points off me now. And for the win, Cameron's gone Rueda. I've gone Alonso, and you're going to go for...
Holgado.
Nice. Okay. That's going to be interesting. Very interesting. In Moto2, pole position, Cameron has gone for Canet. Who are you going for?
Alonso Lopez.
Nice. I'm going to ask everybody what is a kilometre, because I've gone with Joe Roberts.
Oh!
For that American Pride Moto2 pole position. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And Cameron has gone Gonzalez third. Who are you going for third?
Aldegar.
Aldegar. Okay. I have gone for third. Lopez.
Yeah.
Cameron's gone Lopez second.
I think I fluffed it slightly.
Oh dear, who have you gone for second?
Well, I'm going to... I haven't said it out loud yet. Alonso Lopez, which is not what I had written down 2 seconds ago.
Nice. Okay, for second. I've gone Canet.
And
for the win, Cameron's gone Roberts.
I'm going Roberts.
I've gone Roberts as well. Nice.
Fair.
We're getting no points.
No. Now that we've all said that, we've put the Scott on it.
Yeah. Right. MotoGP pole position. Cameron's going Martin.
Oh.
I've gone Marquez. Mark. Who have you gone for?
I don't know what to do. Yeah, I'll go with Mark.
Okay. Solid choice. It's quite a no-brainer, I think. It is hilarious how much we've bigged up Marc Marquez, and he's just going to finish 4th.
See, this might happen. Yeah, same with Joe Roberts. We might have put a hex on all of them.
Yeah, potentially. Sprint race winner, me and Cameron have gone Marc Marquez.
Martin.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I also bigged him up the whole way through this podcast about possibly winning the sprint race, so I feel like I'd be a bit biased to then change up and say Marc Marquez.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You got to be consistent.
Exactly.
Right consistency. 3rd place, Cameron's gone Bastianini. I've gone Acosta, and you have gone.
Do you know what? I'm gonna back the 3 winners.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna say Rins.
Rins.
It's gonna bite me in the ass, but.
Well, I put Rins 2nd.
Oh. So... Okay.
Cameron's gone Bagnaia 2nd.
Not gonna happen.
You're gonna go with Bastianini.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Right.
I think we've all agreed.
I wonder who we've gone for the winner. Poor God.
Zarco. No.
Nice. Well, this bike did win last year.
Exactly.
I think it's safe to say we've all gone Marc Marquez to win this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, consistency.
Yeah, we like consistency. Consistency.
What's going to happen? We've just either cursed the whole thing by talking about it or figured out the whole 903-day thing is going to be...
Yeah.
We've got that stat firsthand. Make a graphic ready for that. Cause,
yeah, I will actually.
Boom, we've got that.
Yeah.
Watch it never be posted. As soon as he wins,
but actually 903 days. And I'll do the 9 and the 3 in his number.
Yeah, that'll look cool.
Yeah.
Like You're welcome for that idea.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. That's what I employ you for. Like I said.
The whole employment thing. We should talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Yeah, I think that's all we've got time for.
I would say so. We've managed to ramble on for over an hour now, so...
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And we've not got Cameron. I think Cameron's back next week.
I can't remember. I
don't really know.
But I'm back, so...
Yeah, that's fine. As long as Lauren's back.
No, we do need we need the trio back together, in fairness, so...
Yeah, we do.
Hurry back, Cameron.
And I think Tyson could actually be very good as well.
It's been a while since we've been a quartet.
It has. Yeah, I can't remember last time we were a quartet. Actually, I probably do. That's probably a trigger response.
Actually, anyway. I don't know how long ago it was, but I do remember.
I think, unless we interviewed somebody. No, it was 3 for Manu, 3 for SDK Max Toff. Were you involved in the SDK Max Toff?
No.
So it's just us 3 then?
I think I just did, Manuel Gonzalez and Max Cook.
Max Cook, that was a trio. What about Eddie?
No, not involved with that.
Yeah, I was 2 for Max.
You'll have to tell me who your big special guest is if you haven't already, and I've just not realised who that was, because I really did think you were bigging me up in the intro until I was like, that's not me.
You are a very valued person on this podcast.
Yeah, you have missed me.
Yeah, we actually have. I'll be nice. We have. I've had to call around and get people in, which is nice, by the way. I have enjoyed having other people in.
I'm sure people have enjoyed listening to some new voices too.
Yeah,
so.
It has genuinely been a really good time, but it's also nice to have you back.
It's nice to have a bit of consistency.
Yeah, I agree.
But now we're back and you'll not get rid of me for the rest of the season, so...
Oh, no.
Sorry, guys, if you were all like,
your predictions. Yeah.
Well.
But if you have listened this far, I can confirm that the guest should be Mr. Jake Gagne.
Oh. Very
so that'd be sick. Because I remember when someone... Because I got a screenshot of Jake being like, yeah, just like ping on my email or whatever. And I remember sitting in a car and like talking to myself for 10 minutes and being like asking him loads of questions in the car. And I was just like, wow, I am so sad. I need to get to life.
No, interviews are the most nerve-wracking things ever. No matter who it is, I get so scared every single time. I get to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to cancel. I can't do this.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. You think about it all day and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. And the last few that I
Yeah.
did were all at like 8 p.m. at night. So I spent the whole day literally sitting there like in the
Yeah,
corner of a
stressed.
room like, I can't
Yeah.
do this.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I was stressed for Max Flinders because I've spoken to him a few times, but never anything deep. But
You
then
just don't
I
know
think,
how people are going to react though in an interview setting, no matter how many times you've spoken to them. Sometimes
yeah.
people all like tense up in an
Yeah,
interview.
I won't mention any, but we've had a few on here that I've talked to for years, and then we get them on the pod, and they're just
Yeah.
completely different. But yeah, it's weird because Max. Oh, go on a tangent. Why not? We had Max Flinders on, and I think I was a bit like anxious before, but then as soon as we started talking, it was like we'd known each other for years,
Yeah.
and the fact that he had so he lives in America, races for American passport, but he was born in the UK. And was born quite close to where I live, and lived in a town that I am very close to, and actually had to drive through the same evening. Like,
so
he's within about
weird.
10 miles from where I live.
It's
maybe
weird how
5
the
miles.
world works like that. Like it's such a small world.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I
Hmm.
was like, what? And then it's just instantly just nerves, bang, gone. It was,
Yeah,
like,
as soon as
so
they
good.
answer your first question, you're always just like, oh, right, okay, I don't know what I was worried
Yeah.
about.
Because then they answer, and it's like a one-word answer, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, the
You're,
worst
like,
it's ever
stressed.
been, I think I got like 20 minutes through an interview and was like, this, like, what am I going to do if we have to wrap
For
this
the
up
next
now?
hour.
And then all of a sudden, like, it flew past to an hour then, and I was like, oh, thank God. But for the first 20 minutes, I was like, this is the worst interview I've ever done in my life.
I'm stressed. I'm like, oh God, like, you hit 20 minutes and you're like, how am I going to keep this going? But then you
Yeah.
do, and it's,
Mm,
yeah, like,
it's all
I've
fine.
got so much to ask Jake. So many questions. Like, he was Nicky Hayden's replacement for a little bit. I'm almost certain he was his teammate for a little bit as well. So I want to talk about that. And yeah, switching for the Honda, because Jake Gagne was, when I first got properly back into the sport and started learning about Moto America, he was the first rider that I was like, I like you. I want to follow you, because he was on I think it was a Penrite Honda at the time. That's the Aussie side of things. He was on the Honda, I can't remember the sponsor at the time, with his Red Bull helmet, and it just looked so sick. The livery was dope, and I was like, I like you. I'm going to follow you. So, yeah, it's cool. So, yeah, I need to actually, as soon as I get off this call, email Jake
Yeah.
and get it sorted.
Yeah, you do. Because now you've told
That'd be
everyone.
boss. I have, and I also told everyone I was getting Alonso Lopez on, and he just messed me around a bit.
Yeah,
so,
Alonso, if you're listening, come on.
I still remember, I'm not going to name the name of the rider, when we were booked to have a rider on at a specific time, and they confirmed the same day, yeah, I'll be on at that time. Then they never answered my messages when it hit that time.
I've had someone
And
do
I was
that
like,
before.
have you?
I've had people accidentally miss calls.
Yeah.
Someone went out for dinner with their team and completely forgot about it. And we did it the next day
savage.
instead, because he
Oh,
was like,
that's
oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, riders are awful for ghosting people.
They're terrible.
They'll be like, yeah, no problem. And then you're like, okay, let's do it now or at this date and this time. And they're like, yep. And then
Never
never
nothing.
happens.
Yeah. I got some stories about ghosting from riders. Jesus. I'm not going to repeat on the podcast. I'm being ghosted one by one right now, hilariously.
Oh.
Yeah, I need some money out of them, but anyway, moving on.
That'll be on the paid subscription podcast.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, so if you see a helmet design going around the tracks this year that I've painted that I've not paid for, then I won't be very happy.
Then we will.
Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all we've got time for after that little ramble.
Oh, it wouldn't be like us to go off on a tangent.
No, never ever. But yes, I think that's all we got time for. Very excited for the race this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to be away this weekend. I've just realised. It's all right.
I think.
Because
No, go on.
you think what?
I was just going to say the time zones. Like, it's
was
going to
gonna
be
say,
perfect. I'm going to
it's gonna be in the evening.
I'm going to be set up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I work during the day. I don't think I'm even in work on Friday. Even better.
Oh,
I can enjoy
even
my
better.
day and then sit down and watch every single thing, because I've missed the first 2 race weekends. I'm literally just going to be sat in front of the TV all weekend.
Sounds great. Yep.
Yep.
Moto3, 5 p.m. Sorted.
Race
Sorted.
time?
Moto3 race time, 5 p.m. MotoGP, 8 p.m.
Oh, I love
Bliss.
America. It's one of my favourite
Yeah.
rounds for the time of the day.
MotoGP sprint is at 9 p.m.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's annoying because I'm away from a birthday weekend, which is a bit annoying.
Oh.
So my girlfriend's just going to have to deal with me sat at the table watching the sprint race.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, you
She's
got to
gonna
do
hate
what
me.
you got to do.
Exactly.
And it's your birthday, so
Exactly. So if I want to watch the racing, I'll watch the
you
racing.
watch the racing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sounds good.
Oh, yes. But yeah. Thank you for listening to this podcast. And we're back
Real.
next. It has been real.
We'll be next
We're
back next week where all of Lauren's predictions came true and she's leading the
by like
I was going to say
400
championship.
points.
Oh, that'd
Oh,
be
God.
wow.
Wow, that'd be a change.
That would be something.
Yeah, you'd be leading the championship by like 300 points as well. This is mad.
Anyway.
But yes, thank you for listening, and we're back next time. Goodbye.
Bye.